Hello and a warm welcome to South Central with me, Jude Sanath. This is India's first and only business bulletin that puts the spotlight on South India and everything making news from the region. Before we deep dive into the news of today, let's take a look at the headlines we're tracking at this hour. It could take a few more years for India's SaaS ecosystem to fully embrace AI, says Kissflow CEO Suresh Sambandham in a South Central exclusive. The SaaS founder adds that business software makers should adopt an AI-first approach. Telangana government directs all its offices to move out of rental spaces to state-owned buildings. The move could save the state exchequer a total of 650 crore rupees in rent every year. Over 3.6 lakh farmers in Tamil Nadu will get compensation totaling to 290 crore rupees from the state disaster relief funds owing to crop losses and unseasonal rainfall in 2024. Kozhikode-based Hind Air is one of India's 3 new airlines, all set to take to the skies after receiving an NOC by the Civil Aviation Ministry. On South Central today, we tell you all about the airline and its management. Ahead of assembly elections next year, Puducherry's newest politician and MLA hopeful, Charles Martin, promises 100 crore rupees from his own pocket to spend for the state's development. The LJK leader also announces welfare schemes and political reservations. Right, first up on the bulletin today, it's been an eventful 2025 for India's SaaS ecosystem. After all, this year was the year the software as a services sector began pivoting from merely building products for businesses to taking its first steps towards an AI-driven software engineering future. Incidentally, the year that has been also saw a great deal of churn across the SaaS market, layoffs, downsizing, and an AI takeover when it came to select job roles. In an exclusive year-end chat with South Central earlier today, CEO of Chennai-based SaaS major Kissflow, that's Suresh Sambandham, told me that it could take a few more years before SaaS firms fully pivot to AI. He added, though, that companies will have to take an AI-first or at least an AI-augmented approach to product building. Here's a slice of that conversation.
I think the very first change is, I don't think we should have named it SaaS in the first place, like 10 or 7, 8 years ago, because it's actually B2B software. Because if you looked at the AI wave that's happening, SaaS is just how we deliver and monetize B2B software. But AI has become a new technology, new way of doing it, right? But essentially, the B2B software world has been significantly impacted by the AI boom. There is both positive as well as some impact areas in the SaaS world. But a bunch of this is yet to happen. There is a lot of hype around how it's going to change, including, Satya Nadell's famous "SaaS is dead" statement, and then he retracted it back. But all that started some sort of a negative publicity for SaaS. But in net terms, for example, Kissflow's business grew. We are positioned as a SaaS company, but the Kissflow's business grew. And if you look at Zoho, I think Sridhar has mentioned, I think his business grew like 30% or something like that. So this AI stuff has not really impacted from a revenue standpoint, but there are a lot of other impacts that are happening. For example, in people area, those impacts are happening. Yet to see big pricing changes. These are all predicted. Yet to see like big pricing changes from SaaS companies. We are still selling in the old model, not yet fully moved to a new model because the customers are not yet, ready to even accept a new model. See, the biggest challenge for a customer is unpredictability. If you go to like a AI, which is a usage-based model, what will they budget it for? For a CIO, the biggest problem is budgeting. Even if it is more, you want like a predictable number. You can't put an open-ended line item into his CFO. And the SaaS model has established that budgeting using predictable user-based licensing and all of these things, and then sealed it. Now it needs to change a lot.
Absolutely. The ground reality, like you said, I think is vastly different, even from a SaaS perspective.
Yeah.
Going simply by timeline itself for companies to actually make that pivot. But it's interesting that you say that, because just a little while ago, the Freshworks CEO, Dennis Woodside, told me that 6,000 out of Freshworks' 75,000 customers are now paying for AI products and services, whereas revenue from AI products alone has also risen to a substantial figure. So sure, there may be hype like you mentioned, but the fact is a lot of SaaS players are actually moving in this direction, even changing pricing to be a per AI session from a per seat that existed before. Do you see this happening also at Kissflow?
Yes, not in Kissflow, but Freshworks is a special example. See, this is one area where AI has really worked. Is coincidentally where Freshworks operates, which is actually called the lowest end where AI has reliably worked is the lowest end, which is answering for support tickets. Because there is a very predictable knowledge base, and the scope of what AI hallucinates when you have a very broad scope. AI doesn't hallucinate, means giving you wrong results. I'm just saying for the audience. Hallucination means giving you wrong results. When the scope is broad, it hallucinates a lot. But the scope is well defined and narrow, it gives you predictable results. And that's why the AI adoption has kind of taken a hit. But when it comes to support tickets, where answering help desk, which is what Freshworks' primary business is around, AI is doing really a good job. And it's correct that Dennis has talked about it, like they are getting 6,000 customers adoption. It's quite good because we have also moved our support system from a user-based model, which we used to pay before. Our provider is Intercom. So they have given us the usage-based model. So it's like an agent.
Right.
Like a virtual agent, which is an AI agent, which is answering on behalf of our manual agents. And there is an agent-based model, and then there is how many tickets it can, how many conversations it can successfully close kind of pricing. Right. We switched to that. And it is able to do close to 70% conversations on its own. But this is one area AI has actually succeeded really well, and production-grade outputs have come out.
And speaking about SaaS, but moving from beyond AI itself, from the hiring front, there's been a whole lot of conversation in terms of how 2025 has panned out thus far. In fact, a lot of experts were talking about a very real possibility of SaaS majors shoring down on hiring so as to ensure that revenue per employee figures continue to stay healthy. Whereas a Career.net study recently said that in H1 of FY26, that is the period from April to September, you actually saw mid-sized SaaS firms up their hiring, whereas any cut in hiring were from smaller SaaS companies. What is your take in terms of recruitment in this space? Do you see did you see a lot of companies this year shore down, or did you see them focus a lot more on hiring for specific roles?
Yeah, I think it has come down. So the actual impact in AI is more on the SaaS companies, more in the internal adoption is high. More than the customer-facing end, there is, when I go talk to my network of friends who operate SaaS companies, everybody is high on AI, which essentially means every function, internal function, is getting redefined. And mostly what I'm seeing happening is that the lowest end of the spectrum in the pyramid of the hierarchy, employment hierarchy, is the one that is getting affected a lot. For example, you don't need junior designers because the senior most designer is able to use AI as a companion, as a co-pilot, and not deal with a junior designer, because whatever instructions he's giving to a junior designer, he can give it to AI. And it's producing an output fairly instantly. And then he takes the output and makes minimal modifications and aligns it with corporate guidelines and corporate branding, color schemes, logo, and all of these things, apply it, do touching work, right? It's a touch-up work, and then it's done. So typically this used to take, I give the requirement to a junior designer, he'll come back tomorrow and give me one version, I won't like it, I'll tell him make these changes. and then he'll give me 2 more, and then after 3 days that design will happen. Now it's happening in 30 minutes.
Right. No, but absolutely, and in fact, it makes sense that a lot of the low-end jobs, like you rightly mentioned, could easily be replaced by an AI companion itself. But speaking about talent itself, Suresh, that career report that I refer to also talks about how both Bengaluru and Chennai continue to hold their own when it comes to SaaS talent. In fact, over 50% of India's SaaS talent is from these two cities. In fact, Chennai alone, 34%, that's over 1/3 of all of India's available SaaS talent today. Do you see this trend continuing into the new year? Chennai, of course, a foregone conclusion thanks to the legacy of Zoho and Freshworks. Many would say became a SaaS hub that continued holding its own. Do you see this continuing? Do you see Chennai and Bengaluru also holding on to this talent hub status that they've derived for themselves?
For SaaS, for sure. But Chennai has the edge, continue to have the edge, but it will lose the edge. But if you don't transform from the SaaS, B2B SaaS to B2B AI. And as you see, SaaS Boomi also has repositioned itself as AI Boomi. Right? Because my idea was it should be like a software Boomi rather than AI, because another technology comes, we can't keep changing the name all the time, right? But now it's called AI Boomi. Maybe next year they'll probably do what, I don't know what they will do. But nevertheless, for Chennai or Bangalore or anybody to keep their edge on B2B software, they need to really embrace AI first, if not AI first thinking, AI augmented thinking to start with. At Kissflow, we are doing both. So we have 2 tracks. One track is the AI augmentation track, where my Dinesh, my chief product officer, he was just telling me just a few minutes ago, in 1 week they released 20 features. In just 1 week, they released 20 features thanks to AI, because the speed in which they can release features have increased significantly.
Right. The fact is that a lot of Indian companies, especially those in India, haven't exactly been exposed to funding if you take a larger sample space, which I would presume the report has done. But specifically in SaaS, given the kind of customer engagement and given the number of clients that it serves, one would assume that the potential to scale is so much higher, which is why scope for funding as an amateur, I would think, would certainly be a lot more. But that quite hasn't been the case for Indian SaaS companies.
I think if it is 40%, it's not a bad number, I would say. Because, see, 14% of SaaS companies already being funded is a good number. It's like a typical follows a 80-20 kind of a model. Maybe we can push it to till another 5-6%, which means 80% of companies would continue to be in the bootstrap model. 20% of companies will get funded, which is a very healthy number. I haven't looked at the numbers. But the funding opportunity in the B2B software size is much, much higher. But the people have to take AI first approach. There are a lot of investors, whether it is Sequoia or Axel or Girish's Together Fund, Matrix, Nexus, Lightspeed, you name them. Everybody is talking about an AI first investment.
Right.
There are many friends are working. All of the people who are running these funds, many of them are my friends, right? So all the partners, whether it is Shaker or Dave in Lightspeed, right? If you talk to them, they will basically tell me like, you know what, Suresh, if you have an AI first company, I want to talk to them, I want to meet them. That's really what they would say.
Plenty of scope then for new blood to enter the ecosystem. Last question before I let you go.
Sure.
What does this do to ARRs? Do you see potential for further runway for revenue growth for the overall SaaS ecosystem? And what about Kissflow itself? How do you match up to the overall SaaS market?
So the ARR will continue to do the same track, but I think the new consumer or usage-based revenue streams will start kicking in. As I said before, it won't happen by as a separate line item. I don't see that happening. Like if you go for a quarterly reporting, if you take Freshworks quarterly reporting, for them to show through user-based pricing model, I have like they're probably at 500 million or something, like 500-600 million. To break that up and then show like, out of the 500-600 million, here is 400 million we got from user-based licensing, and we are slowly have a separate line item for 200 million for usage-based model, which is the AI-based model. And then this is declining and this is increasing. For that to happen, we are 2-3 years away. Right. So I don't think people are even separating it out right now. Right. So right now it's all bundled together, because except for support and other areas, few areas where AI is very predictable, revenue is converting. Other areas have not yet been, or if it's an AI first company, like InVideo or 11 Labs. So their full revenue is usage based, so they don't have a problem. So existing SaaS companies splitting that and then showing, hey, this is a user based model, this is a user based model, that's going to take some time.
Moving on then, Telangana is all set to save nearly 650 crore rupees every year simply by relocating its government offices. At a recently conducted review meeting, the Telangana government has set a January 26 deadline for various branches of its offices to shift back to state-owned buildings from rented spaces. Reports suggest that Chief Minister Revanth Reddy has asked his government officers to ensure that no department be run from a private building if a government facility was available. The decision comes even as the state has spent nearly 7,800 crore rupees in just rent over the last 12 years, with the annual rental expenditure totaling to around 650 crore rupees. The decision also comes amid escalating rental values in Hyderabad, with the Congress government now ordering a complete inventory of vacant or underutilized government buildings so that offices can now move in. Shifting focus to Tamil Nadu now, a total of 3.6 lakh farmers in the state are due for a compensation of nearly 290 crore rupees from the State Disaster Relief Fund. The compensation announced by Agriculture Minister M.R.K. Paneerselvam has been set aside in order to provide relief to the 4.9 lakh acres of agricultural land and over 76,000 acres of horticultural land that were impacted during unseasonal and monsoonal rainfall in 2024. An order issued by the government acknowledged that agricultural and horticultural land belonging to 31 districts were impacted by rain as well as heavy gusting in January this year, and that the sum would now be distributed, the government order says, as compensation to farmers who lost crops in this period. Now, the majority recipients of the compensation include agricultural farmers, with horticultural cultivators numbering to just over 80,000 individuals. From the fields to the skies now, the three new kids on India's aviation block, that's Kozhikode-based Hind Air is one of India's, will see their airplanes get ready for takeoff real soon. Now, all three airline companies have received no objection certificates from the Ministry of Civil Aviation. One of these airline firms, that's Hind Air, is from Kozhikode. Its proprietor, the Hind group of companies, is led by Mohammad Haris Tatatharil, who presently serves as director at the group. My colleague Charu joins us now with more information on the airline itself, the aircraft that it will operate, and its expansion plans. Over to you, Charu.
As per a recent social media post made by the aviation minister of the country, Hind Air, which is owned by a Kerala-based group, has gotten a no objection certificate from the government. Now, this is an approval that has been granted only for initial approval cycles. Several other licenses still need to be acquired by the airline. Now, airline is going to focus on the southern regions and is going to be Kerala-based. It is a company that has been operating in the tour and travel management arena for the last 3 decades. However, it now wishes to enter into the aviation space and give customers more of a choice to fly in the southern regions. Now, it is going to enter the landscape with 3 ATR 72-600 turbo planes. Apart from this, 2 other airlines that are set to join the regional fleet of the country include Hind Air, that is a Uttar Pradesh-based airline, and other than that, there is Fly Express, the website of which shows that it is ready to start its operations in a little while. However, all of these airlines do not have the complete licensing yet, but they are on the path to get it. Since 2020, the government has given the green light to several regional airlines, and it remains to be seen how they enter the Indian aviation landscape. The developments come after the recent flight crisis that was created when Indigo cancelled over 4,000 of its flights due to the unavailability of its staff in accordance with the new DGCA norms that dealt with pilot and crew fatigue.
Staying with news from Kerala, the BJP's party secretary VV Rajesh has been nominated as mayor of Thiruvananthapuram. He will become the city's first mayor belonging to the BJP. Earlier this month, the Saffron Party scripted history by winning the Thiruvananthapuram local body poll, its first one ever in Kerala. Now, reports suggest that Rajesh was the party's almost unanimous choice given his seasoned political roots, and that the BJP does not enjoy absolute majority in the Corporation Council. A woman leader of the party's Kerala outfit, that's GS Asha Nath, has been appointed as his deputy mayor, which, remember, is a position reserved for female candidates. Staying with politics then, it's been less than a week since Puducherry's new kid on the political bloc, that's the Lakshya Jananaya Katchi or the LJK, announced its entry into politics. And the party's supremo Martin Charles has made his first headline-grabbing announcement. Charles said that if elected as MLA in the assembly polls next year, he would spend 100 crore rupees from his own pocket for development projects in Puducherry. But that wasn't the only fiscal promise that he made to Puducherry's electorate. A direct support scheme for women with universal basic income of 4,000 rupees per month per individual, an additional yearly sum of 50,000 rupees, 6 LPG cylinders free of charge, and a free health kit along with 35,000 rupees to expecting mothers are some of the other promises made by the MLA hopeful. Martin Charles, remember, is the son of Santiago Martin, a Coimbatore-based lottery baron who rose to prominence as one of Tamil Nadu's biggest contributors to electoral bonds in the 2024 general elections. Meanwhile, a group of lawmakers from Vijayawada have met Andhra Pradesh Chief Minister Chandrababu Naidu to formally submit a proposal for the formation of the Greater Vijayawada Municipal Corporation. The plan for the Greater Corporation will involve expanding existing municipal corporation limits into a larger local body. If reports are to be believed, the Andhra CM was positive about the proposal and could set the ball in motion to form the larger municipal body. If the plan does go through, the Greater Vijayawada area could also become one of the largest cities in Andhra Pradesh by way of geography as well as population. And on to some good news now. The Greater Chennai City Traffic Police has said that fatalities or deaths due to road accidents in the city declined by 10% in 2025. While 534 deaths were recorded up until December 15th last year, this year saw just about 479 fatalities. Road accident injuries too saw a significant 64% drop in 2025, falling from 2,093 cases in 24 to just about 721 cases this year. So let's hope that safer roads then become an important priority for our lawmakers in 2025. Well, moving on now, what if assistive technology could become the bridge between limitations and limitless possibilities? Samarth by Hyundai, an initiative by Hyundai Motor India Limited, is paving the way towards an inclusive and accessible world for persons with disabilities, one innovation at a time. Through this platform, we're showcasing change makers and innovators who are building assistive technologies that will empower persons with disabilities to navigate life with confidence and independence. Take a look now at this next video of how a Mumbai-based startup is designing assistive tools to make persons with limited hand mobility a lot more independent.